camera lens may capture the most beautiful picture, but it's the photographer who first sees the beauty. In this case, it's Missy Mowrer.
I want people to see what I see sometimes, and sometimes it's just a matter of walking past a tree and seeing a particular leaf and snapping a picture of it.
Or it's her two sons playing soccer, or it's spending time with her nieces and nephews. To her, these are all precious memories that tell a story. This picture reminds Missy and her husband Rich of a time that changed their lives forever. It was 4 years ago.
We were in Ocean City, New Jersey on vacation. It was her birthday weekend in June.
I felt like I had a mosquito bite or a bug bite. I had a strange itch that didn't seem to go away. And it felt like a bug bite, but it was not on the surface, it was deeper in. So, you know, all the warning signs, red flags, what is this? It's a lump, oh my goodness. The panic of the initial thought of, you know, your mind goes to worst case scenario right away.
So Missy went for her first mammogram. She was 39 years old.
I did not have a family history of breast cancer, so there was no reason for me to have a mammogram before then. The mammogram led to an ultrasound, which led to a biopsy. That in turn led to an MRI, a CT scan, a bone scan. Each test that we had gave us reason to believe that we had to check further for more progression of the disease.
She came to us with a diagnosis of breast cancer, and she was metastatic at the time of her diagnosis, meaning that her disease had spread beyond the breast and had gone to other organs.
I had involvement in my lungs, my liver, bones, hips, my skull. It was essentially everywhere. It had spread at that point.
Stage 4 breast cancer. News Missy wasn't ready to hear.
I remember saying, I just want to see my kids grow up. And that was the thought. I just remember that being the strongest thought in my mind right now was the kids.
Missy's boys were 5 and 7 years old at the time.
I was angry, I was scared, I was mad, upset. They all kind of hit me all at once.
So, you know, there's a lot of tears, a lot of questions, a lot of, you know, what do we do next type thing. And it was very difficult.
Oncologist Dr. Leah Cream treated Missy's cancer with hormonal therapy. It came in the form of a pill.
So Missy's type of breast cancer was an estrogen positive breast cancer, meaning the cells are fed by estrogen, and it was a HER2 negative type of breast cancer.
We had made the decision early on that we were going to choose treatment plans that would have the least impact on our life and the fewest side effects.
In her case, we started with tamoxifen, which blocks estrogen, and we also decreased the amount of estrogen she was making in her ovaries, putting her into a menopausal state.
On that first medicine, I believe it was about 6 months, that things were healing and these cancerous areas were gone, and we had no evidence of new growth, and life was good. Everybody was happy. This is great.
Good enough for Missy to have a mastectomy.
What we've done at this institution is we give them their systemic treatment, and if they do well with that, meaning that it stays stable or improves, then we offer the patients the opportunity to have the local disease resected. For Missy, we performed a modified radical mastectomy on her. We removed the breast tissue, and we also removed nodes underneath her arm, and at the same time she had immediate reconstruction by the plastic surgeon.
I remember coming out of, like, waking up and just being so relieved that it was over. I mean, even though I knew that there were these little cancer cells all over my body, just knowing that that original piece was gone, I felt like that was really a time that we could say, all right, let's go.
A time to move forward. Since Missy's diagnosis, she set up a blog to share her innermost thoughts.
The title of the blog is Today I Choose to Laugh. The thing that I keep reminding myself is that every day I have a choice.
From early on in the process, we had said that we were going to control as much of our lives as we could. We were not going to let cancer control us.
And cancer has not controlled Missy. She's run in several 5K races in the past few years, 2 to benefit breast cancer research.
And it is kind of like a kick in the pants. I say, look, I ran a 5K, cancer, what are you gonna do about that? And for me, thinking that, people with stage 4 cancer, they don't do this. They don't do 5K obstacle mud runs, and to be able to say, well, I did, and I liked it, and I would probably do it again. I think my way, again, of keeping the disease in the background, which is where it needs to stay.
And doctors have. Over the past 4 years, they've kept the disease at bay. Missy has been on a number of hormonal therapies, always staying one step ahead of the cancer.
Each one we know will work for a certain amount of time, and then the cancer cells kind of become smart and find a way around it. And we have to stay one step ahead and change the treatment to a different type of drug to try to overcome that resistance.
So we would switch to a different medicine. It would work. Everything has worked for a period of time, whether it be 3 months, 6 months. Up until recently, the medicine that I was on, I was completely clear for 18 months, which is the longest stretch that I've gone in 4 years.
The last drug was Afinitor. At the time, it was not approved by the FDA, so Dr. Cream created a clinical trial just for Missy.
Missy really needed this medication so that she wouldn't have to go on chemotherapy, so that we could delay that and maintain her quality of life.
And it did. Missy says her family, friends, and faith have pulled her through some of the most difficult times.
He has been a rock. I know that it's not easy on him. There are days that it's hard on him, but I don't often see that side.
So much support, especially now. The hormonal therapy recently stopped working.
At that point, you then have to move to regular chemotherapy, and that's where Missy's at now. Although we're picking chemotherapy where she should have as normal a quality life as possible.
I feel good, and fingers crossed, we'll go through about 2 or 3 cycles of that